Y'all come on in. Y'all come on in. Niggas Kingdom gonna be the nation if you ain't know it.
Elephant shaking, the rumors breaking, cause we exposing. Got no more patience, your time is wasting, we quickly growing. Unite to save when we walk in the path that's flowing. The king is risen, begin the end of a lot is trending. The good intention, create confusion, answer the vision. And now you tripping, cause you ain't listen to mind your business. Get up and spill out your cup, then come be a witness. Know what the deal is, you missed it again, see what happened. But it's okay, cause we got you, all you need is a napkin. It be like, new tastes, that's how you know we snapping. Back in the place for the dough, asking for some rap. Got all the corners, pull them together and make a brick. Put in the ocean, watch all the water turn into spit. I go hold my lips, cause they poisoning all the little kids. Stop these bitch where they sacrifice the needy pigs. They got the strength to get up and make it out through the day. Every other sick, give it up if you wanna live, you pay. Then make the move to be free, but until the land we stay. Ashes be left of the place
Call the USA.
I go sit to the beat, stop and let the people out. Hey, you with free, come with us, move your feet and close your mouth. Stop and let wait, pop the states, ain't gon' see nothing. I don't know where to go. Come on, we head us out.
I'm gonna run it back one more time for the people that just coming in. Niggas Kingdom gonna be the nation if you ain't know it.
Elephant shaking, the rumors breaking, cause we exposing. Got no more patience, your time is wasting, we quickly growing. Unite to save when we walk in the path that's flowing. The king is risen, begin the end of a lot is trending. The good intention, create confusion, answer the vision. And now you tripping, cause you ain't listen to mind your business. Get up and spill out your cup, then come be a witness. Know what the deal is, you missed it again, see what happened. But it's okay, cause we got you, all you need is a napkin. It be like, new tastes, that's how you know we snapping. Back in the place for the dough, asking for some rap. Got all the corners, pull them together and make a brick. Put in the ocean, watch all the water turn into spit. I go hold my lips, cause they poisoning all the little kids. Stop these bitch where they sacrifice the needy pigs. They got the strength to get up and make it out through the day. Every other sick, give it up if you wanna live, you pay. Then make the move to be free, but until the land we stay. Ashes be left of the place.
Call the USA.
I go sit to the beat, stop and let the people out. Hey, you with free, come with us, move your feet and close your mouth. Stop and let wait, pop the states, ain't gon' see nothing. I don't know where to go.
No, we head south. All right, one more for y'all. We gonna get into the talk, y'all. Look around. Tell me, what do you see? I know what I see. What do you see?
What do you see? They turn around and say nothing cause they already sleep.
They already took me out before you paid, so.
What do you see? They turn around and say nothing cause they already sleep. Poison at the push of a button, don't even get up to eat.
So they can't see cause they sleep? Let's wake them up. Let's wake them up.
Under your voice, I hear screeching, he lying every day. One look at your phone cause it's beeping, no God, it's time to pay. Oh, good. Moving us like the wind, not guided by the pen. Cause it divided us and knocked us up against the chin. Everybody can win if you accept the truth. Empty your cup for the circle, some pounds you gotta lose. Now let your body move, shake it and stomp your feet. You hear that boom when it's bumping and jumping out the beat. He gon' be done cause he dumping nothing out in the street. Sent them boys to cellular methods cause you can't take the heat. You need to take a seat, like really, go sit down. Cut off the head of a chicken, left in the lost and found. Like he can't tell something missing, he living in the ground. Pluck him out the fiction, this mission make him return the crime. What gon' come back around?
And we just getting started.
Red go green and brown, like the earth couldn't fall. I know you hear the sound, yes I am an artist. Like the rock I'm skipping the water till you get the farthest. And yo, we got the hardest, walk with a generation. Look at the faces, they waiting patient to see the changes. But the upper be hating, he used the congregation to feed the places that's quoted sacred but segregated. So now it's time to fade them, circle and cross them out. Look at the angels we slaying them
With the word of mouth.
Now get up off the couch, come outside your house. We say the day for the nation to make the evil triumph.
Around, the people tell me, what do you see?
They turn around and say nothing
Cause they already sleep.
Poison at the push of a button, don't even get up to eat. Try to stand up to say something you shouldn't even wanna speak. No, you should never say. Don't practice none that you preaching and telling us to pray. Under your voice I hear screeching, he lying every day. One look at your phone cause it's beeping, no God, it's time to pay. Oh, good.
When I say God Jew, you say Judah. God Jew. God
When I say Yaju, you say Judah. Yaju, Yaju. It could blick a soda cracker, it could blick a boom. It could blick a soda cracker.
Out goes you.
Feeling no one's off and it's 2 by 2.
Only many got the call, but the chosen on few.
I heard the final call and made the cut like got knocking at the door, folks. What you gonna do? Study long, study wrong. You see us, then we gone. The song sound familiar,
But the lyrics brand new.
fam, hear me out. The
The
religion
lyrics on
on
cool.
That's why I roll with niggas, original Hebrew. We deep like the womb, still waters grew. Empty out your cup and get this ill potted stew. Holy beef, that's on chief. Now carry your cross, dog, that's good grief. Pastor in the pulpit, lying through his teeth when the rubber meet the road.
And when the wheels go screech,
Don't let the moment drive by. The proof is in
get it in, y'all. Get it in.
An outcast left behind like bro, them. You heard it here first. We going in.
Oh,
Look all around at the people, tell me what do you see? They turn around and say nothing because they already sleep. Poison at the push of the button, don't even get
they sleep, y'all. Let's wake them up. Let's wake them up.
Don't practice none that you preaching and telling us to pray. Under your voice, I hear screeching, he lying every day. One look at your phone, cause it's beat, but no God, it's time to pay. Oh, good.
Get y'all the tunes, man, from NK Records, y'all. We back at it again today, y'all, with the same title, same truth, ancient God, only true God, many false gods. I think sometimes we overlook the part where, you know, it's one truth, one God, many false gods, many lies. You know, like I said, you can always have a, it's almost like a, what we call it, imitation. It's almost like having an imitation of something. It just look like it, but it ain't real. It look like it, and it can fool you. You can look at it, pick it up, touch it, hold it, wear it. You still might not know it's fake. You know, and some people not gonna really know it's fake until they understand the real. That's what this truth is doing. It's revealing the devil. And that's why, you know, I did go over the book Revelation. I know everybody don't watch my videos, but a lot of people think the devil was cast down back then. The devil has been cast down when God raised up Christ. See, again, we read the book as history, as in things in the past. The book is visions about what's going to take place at an appointed time. So the devil wasn't kicked down what? How the devil was kicked down, but they rule the world. You know, the world's still in deception. So now the devil has been kicked down from heaven because understanding is exposing the fake. Now you understand why that's fake. First, you didn't understand it was fake. It was looking real. Now, this is the truth that gives the understanding so you can separate from the fake. Get out of Babylon. Get out of Babylon. It's really get out of Babylon. That's what we're supposed to be doing. Getting out of Babylon. You know, so I know since I might not get too many guests, y'all, so I'm gonna try to go over a few things, you know, get the conversation started. Bring clarity to our viewers that's in here for the first time, if I have any. And like I said, just really bring that understanding that's going to help our people separate from fake. Because deep down, don't nobody want to wear the fake. Deep down, don't nobody want to wear the fake. You know, people want the real. Now, they might be comfortable because the fake come at a cheap price. You ain't have to pay that much. You ain't have to pay that much attention. You ain't have to do that much work to get it. You got it. It looked good, you know, and you feel good. The lies, the lie is just like a fake material. You ain't want to work hard enough to get you, you know, a Mercedes or a real something, so you settle for something less. And I'm using this as just concepts, you know, to show you why people settle for the lie. It's cheaper. It's spiritual cheaper to settle for, well, yeah, it is. It's spiritual cheaper. Because you can do what you want. You can believe what you want to believe. That's what I mean by cheapness. Because the truth is simple too, but the price, I'm trying to see what's the best way to say this. The price that truth costs, people don't want to pay it. I have to say that. The price that truth costs, people don't want to pay it. They don't want to pay the attention. They don't want to pay the reality check. You see what I'm saying? They do not want to pay the cost for the truth. So they'll pay the cost for what? The lie. Because when the truth came, the payment came, like I said, it came with it like, damn, I'm going to lose it all. I'm going to lose all my beliefs. I'm going to lose all my friends. But what about losing and gaining? You don't think you can lose and gain? That's what life about. You could lose and gain. That's shit. That's really life. Like that's life. You see what I'm saying? That's life. Almost everything on your body you lose so you can get more. Not everything, but majority of what's in your body you lose so you can get something new. A plant, you prune it, so what? New fruit can grow. You know, so life is about, again, removing things. It's the process of life. You cannot, no matter how you shape it, you cannot, that's the process, y'all. And that's why, you know, when you get into, people don't really say, is this crossing over or death, you know, because stuff die every day. That's why dead hair fall out all the time. See what I'm saying? So when people talk about death or anything, that's a part of life. We have been conditioned because really, I think it's funerals. I think in Africa, again, we wasn't like that unless somebody tragically, you know, but we accepted when somebody got old and it wasn't no, oh, it's sad, but I can't live no more. They left me and all that. Come on now, y'all. That's like, it happened every day. But the funeral system, you got to buy a casket. They want to put on a show. And what's the best thing to put on the show? Have drama. Have drama. Have a bunch of people hooping and hollering. Have some fancy. Have some look good. Put them in a nice car. This thing about most people don't ride into their best, cleanest car until they in the casket. Y'all thought about that? Most of the people in the world, they cleanest vehicle that they ride in is when you put them in the casket. This world ain't backwards. Most people, for even a celebration, they could have had 100 million birthday parties, have a funeral. More people gonna show up to their funeral than their birthday party or they gather. People gonna come all out of town to see them leave. People gonna come all out of town to what? See them have a, have a talk. Let's have a talk, man. But we able to put off when somebody leave. You know, like I said, that just show you, like I said, man, that's just the world we're living in. That's why, again, we got to get rid of a lot of traditions that we might hold on to. You know, these are just small little things to show you how, if you really look at it from a logical standpoint and you are not trying to sympathize with your traditions, it's stupid. $10,000 on a casket. For what? For me to leave? For me to leave? That's what for me to leave, it take 10. I couldn't get 10 while I was here. And some people go all out. Some people feel it'll be $20, $30. For most people, that's a year of work. That's a whole year of work. You know, so like I say, man, just small things, y'all, like I say, we might try to hold on to. Like I say, it's nonsense. So when it comes to the spiritual realm, imagine how much nonsense in us. Because again, if you fix the spirit, you manifest the flesh. You're the walking dead because the spirit not fixed. You don't have life. Since the spirit is not fixed, you don't have life. You are the walking dead. It's the spirit that gives life. So once we understand life, those little fake things that we doing to try to act like we respect life, it's going to change. But again, you fix the spirit first. Some people call it the higher self, the Holy Spirit, the energy, the unseen. We have to fix that first. We have to fix that thought about the unseen. Many people thought, and it's a lot of people that believe in the unseen, don't believe in the Bible, but then believe in the ancestors. That's like believing in the spirit and believing in Jesus. God is the spirit. So why you need Jesus? You need God. And we have made it so crazy that we got Christ, Jesus, controlling the spirit of God. Christ don't control the spirit. And then, let alone a 2,000-year-old Christ control God's spirit. But like I say, a lot of people, I said all that to say, a lot of people think the devil was cast down back then when the devil is being casted down right now. The devil, deception that's been on earth, has been cast down to earth. Now, like I tell people, the first people to recognize the light are those that's given deception. The first people to recognize the light is those that's given deception. This is why Moses had to go up against the what? Scribe and Pharisees. This is why Elijah had to go against the prophets of Babylon. Because the people couldn't see the light unless the light conquers the darkness. So again, the first people, because remember, light is here to remove darkness. If you're living in this world and you're not spreading darkness, the light is not going to attack you. The light is going to embrace you. You're going to be happy it came. Oh shit, I needed that light. That's how you're going to be when the light comes, if you are not spreading darkness. But see, if you're spreading darkness and light comes, it's going to attack you. This is where you get God as the mighty man of war. This is where you get all this from. So again, the first people to recognize darkness are those that's spreading deception. So when we get into this chapter, you're going to realize the devil, not the people, the devil represents, again, those that's spreading deception. That's why I say Satan and his angels. Satan is the deception. The angels are those that spreading it. God and his angels. God is the spirit of truth. The messengers is those that come in the spirit and truth to speak it, to reveal it to the world. The barriers of light. The Israelites. Those that know God is real by bringing light into the world. So at this time right now, you have two signs in heaven. So in my awakening, you had two signs. Because deception was already in high places. So it's two signs. It was two signs in my anointment. It was like, that look good. But who's this? But who is this? He's saying some powerful stuff. But they got the crowd, they got the authority, they got the influence. So I'm just gonna keep watching. So you deal with, I'm in Revelation 12. Remember, it's two signs. Heaven is a higher thought. When I was anointed, I came to those of the higher thought. The Son of Man must suffer many things. He must first be rejected by the chief priests, scribes, and Pharisees. The ones I came to. Because they was the ones what? Proclaiming to be given light. So verse 12. in Revelation. Chapter 12, verse 1. It's saying, there appeared a great wonder in heaven, a woman clothed with the sun and the moon under her feet, and upon her head a crown of 12 stars. One second. My bad. So like I was saying, I was speaking of the two signs. So again, this great woman, clothed with the sun, she was very bright. The moon under her feet, above darkness, and then had a crown with 12 stars. All 12 zodiacs was attached to this woman. And even the sun and moon was attached to this woman. So all the stars was attached to this woman. Just all the stars was attached to this woman. This is a sign. And what I'm reading has happened and is happening. What I'm reading has happened and is happening. So it says, and she being with child, travailing in birth and pain to be delivered. When was the Son of God going to speak? When was the Son of God going to raise us up? The Bible say the last day. So Revelation chapter 12 is about something that happened in the last day. Now, verse 3. And there appeared another wonder in heaven. So these are two signs that's causing people to wonder. One is from God, one is from the devil. So it says, and there appeared another wonder in heaven. Behold, a great red dragon, having 7 heads and 10 horns, and 7 crowns upon his head. So 7 heads, which is simply authority, complete authority, 7. Horns, information, 10 horns, 10 commandments. 7 crowns, complete rulership of the earth. 7-headed monster, complete rulership of the earth. That's what Satan has until this woman bring forth this male child. Until the woman brings forth the male child, the devil has always had complete rulership. This is the foretold prophecy. So it says, and his tail drew the 3rd part of the stars of heaven, and did cast them to earth. And the dragon stood before the woman, which was ready to be devoured. Which was ready to be delivered for to devour her child, which was ready to be devoured. Which was ready to be delivered for to devour her child as soon as it was born. So you see, Satan, which is deception, has caused the stars to fall, 1/3 of them. It caused them to fall to earth. Earthly understanding, earthly knowledge. Not heavenly knowledge, earthly knowledge. But the deception, in order for the deception to keep what? Its rulership, it had the what? Who was the first one to recognize the child? Was it the people or was it the deception? So that goes back to why I'm really reading this. The first people to recognize the light of the world is those that's spreading deception, because the light don't attack people that's looking for it. If you in the dark and the light cut on, you're going to be happy. You're not going to be mad. But if you the darkness and the light cut on, you might be pissed. Who, you trying to shut me up? You trying to put me out? Because that's what light does to darkness. So again, the first person to notice the child was who? It says, and his tail threw a third part of the stars of heaven and did cast them to earth. So the angels was already cast down. That's why you had a rapture, the calling up, the Mount Zion, the top of the mountain, all that, you know, that's what all those things are for, based off the vision that's seen, how we have to rise up. We say it all the time, let's rise up. So it says, did cast them to earth, and the dragon stood before the woman, which was ready to be delivered to devour her child as soon as it was born. And she brought forth, verse 5, Revelation 12. And she brought forth a male child who was to rule all nations with a rod of iron, and her child was caught up unto God. And she brought forth a male child who was to rule all nations with a rod of iron, and her child was caught up unto God and to his throne. So every high priest that's taken from among men is ordained for men. So you see the child that this woman was bringing forth, God took it so it could be ordained. God didn't leave it so it could be cast down. God didn't leave this child. God took this child to anoint this child to go what? Tell the rest of the angels that what? Have fallen. So it say what? And the woman fled unto the wilderness, where she had a place prepared of God. Here goes this woman. The woman that's clothed with the sun, the woman that has the moon under her feet, and the woman that got the 12 stars on her head is now going into the wilderness. After the birth of what? The Son of God. Now this woman is going to the wisdom to do what? Because what is wisdom called? She. Her. She's way more precious than rubies. So now this woman, which is wisdom, undefiled wisdom, untouched, pure, is going to the wilderness. But why is this woman going to the wilderness? What is this woman about to do in the wilderness? What did this woman do for the Son of God? So the same thing this woman did for the Son of God, this woman is finna do in the wilderness with the other children of God. So it says, and the woman fled unto the wilderness, where she had a place prepared of God, that they should feed her there 1,260 days. And there was a war in heaven. Michael and his angels fought against the dragon, and the dragon fought and his angels. So now it's a war, right? Michael, and see, you notice how they switch it up. Like Michael is the one that came forth from the woman. That's what people don't get. When we think, you know, the child that came from the woman is in the sky and Michael is fighting the devil. No, the child the woman brought forth is fighting the devil, which is Michael. But again, these are visions of what people are seeing. So they're not writing it just to tell you a story. They're only writing the vision. So, and there was a war in heaven. Because remember, the child was taken up. Michael and his angels fought against the dragon, and the dragon fought and his angels, and prevailed not. Neither was there a place found any more in heaven. And the great dragon was cast out, the old serpent called the devil and Satan, which deceiveth the whole world. He was cast out unto earth, and his angels was cast out with him. Now, what do we have here? Michael, which is the one that came from the woman, has cast out the devil. But when did this take place? Is this something that happened back then, or is this something that happened now? And you might be like, well, Yaju, you saying you cast out the devil, man. Well, how? The devil's still in rulership. The world's still what it is. Well, now you go into, people don't hide from me because I'm telling lies. People hide from me because I'm telling the truth. And they know that what? They have been cast down. They know this. Again, the devil knew he was cast down. The people don't know. So the conscious community know when this stuff is spoken, they can't, what they doing don't exist. They know this. This is why they don't deal with me. I'm always calling out. They don't deal with me, but this is prophecy. So I'm not tripping. This is prophecy. So the devil is the first to know it's cast down. The people don't see the devil falling down from earth. Now, again, you might keep saying, yeah, Jew, how is that possible? How is that possible? Let's go. Because see, when God's majesty is on earth, the devil falls, whether the people see it or not. You know, the devil only exists if what? Well, I got me what verse I'm finna go to. Oh, the devil only exists when God is not present, or when the presence of God is not in the minds of the people, because God is always present. But as I tell you, God's spirit was gonna not always dwell with man. So the spirit was taken. But if you go to Revelation 6 and 15, because like I said, I ain't started talking yesterday. You know, I've been out long enough for you to run across me. You know, but let's see what people do when they run across me. If you go to Revelation 6 and 15, it says, I'm gonna start at 14. Well, let's start at 13. It says, and the stars of heaven fell unto the earth, even as a fig tree casts her untimely figs when she is shaken by a mighty wind. So again, it's the appointed time of God when the stars fall. Verse 14, Revelation 6. The heaven, it says, and the heaven departed as a scroll when it is rolled together, and every mountain and island were moved out of their places. People were shaken up by the things that's being said. People are shaken up. Verse 15, the kings of the earth, the great men, the rich men, the chief captains, the mighty men, and every bondman and every free man hid themselves in the dens and in the rocks of the mountains. The stars fell, and when the stars fell, everybody got hiding. What was everybody hiding from? Verse 16, and they said to the mountains and the rocks, fall on us and hide us from the face of him that sitteth on the throne and from the wrath of the Lamb. So when I say the devil has been cast out, this is why, again, don't nobody, y'all Jew want to talk to the leaders. Why y'all Jew can't talk to the leaders? That's why I got to come on here and talk to these TikTok folks who ain't doing nothing. You know, but I can't talk to the leaders because what the leaders doing. So right now, the devil is on earth making wrath with the people because what? Time is up. The truth is, he ain't got nothing but a short time. The deception got this is forever. This is what's being told to y'all is forever. It's not, you know, you can feel it. If you in tune with this is something that's forever. You see what I'm saying? Like you don't, you know how you don't wonder no more? You might, again, we human, so we might have a wonder about things. I'm talking about like the clarity of God. I know when I got it. I know when I got it, and I didn't get it like y'all because didn't nobody tell it to me. But I got it like y'all because I didn't know it either. And I know when I got it, I truly understand the Sabbath rest. This is why that's why it's talked about so much. The Sabbath day. God rested on the seventh day. All these things, you have to be a part of it to understand it. I became a part of this. This is why I understand this. Like, we try to get taught, and that's why I say, let every man be alike. I just stop right there because I keep talking. So right now, y'all, this is why the devil is cast to the earth. Deception is no longer in high places. The truth is on the rise because deception has failed. So we go to verse 10. We back in Revelation 12. It says, and I heard a loud voice saying in heaven, now is come salvation. Why salvation is here? Because people are being pulled out of the waters. People are being pulled up out of the dark waters. So, and I heard a loud voice from heaven saying, now is come salvation and strength and the kingdom of our God, the power of his Christ. For the accuser of our brethren is cast down, which accused them before our God day and night. Everybody that taught us accused us of doing evil if we didn't follow what they was teaching. If you ain't pay your tithes, you was evil. If you ain't go to church, you was evil. If you ain't believe in Jesus, you was evil. That's all deception has done. Accused us of being wrong. So now we come to, you know how when you did something wrong, you extra, I'm trying to find the right word to use. You know when you do something wrong, though, you know, you extra with it. You did something wrong, so you're going to clean up the whole house. You did something wrong, so you're going to cut the glass. You know, you did something wrong, now you're going to wash the car. You see what I'm saying? You're going to do things above, and you're going to scrub the walls. You did wrong. You might scrub all the walls and all that because you just did wrong. I'm trying to find the words to use, but they ain't coming. But I'm trying to just show y'all, like, that's what religion and that's what teachers have done. They pointed out our wrong and our sin on God. So now we come to God, well, what you want me to do, God? And they say, dude, jump like a frog. You hopping like a frog. Close the doors. I need $100 grand. Oh, shit, I need to give Pastor this money because it's on, you know, I've been doing wrong by God. So, and the man probably say, I just work for that shit then. Don't get it. Oh, no. And the woman like, no, you know, we gotta get this to God, you know, because we've been doing wrong. We haven't been living right. That's what these teachers have done. That's what they have done. Accused us of doing wrong to God. And the whole time, the people that's dead wrong are the teachers. Dead wrong. Dead wrong. The teachers are dead wrong. So, again, Now the salvation is come, the power, the strength, the kingdom of God, the power of his Christ, and the accuser is cast down. Now, a lot of people think when the devil is cast down, it's no more devil. When the devil is cast down, they realize, damn, my time up. But simply, I ain't going out without a fight. But remember, God hardened Pharaoh's heart. Was Pharaoh working for God or was Pharaoh working for the devil? So Pharaoh musicians was what? Satan angels. So God is hardened hearts to reveal the power. Everybody love power, huh? Turn the power off right now. You can't charge these cell phones. Watch how everybody go crazy. Everybody go crazy. Turn the power off. You can't charge nothing. So why are we going to be so charged up? That's why people don't want this message heard. We're going to charge up and turn the light on. So verse 11, Revelation 12, it says, and they overcame him by the blood of the Lamb. They drunk grape juice and ate crackers. You overcome by the blood of the Lamb. See, these simple concepts have got so far away from us because we're talking about flesh and blood. We're not talking about the blood of somebody 2,000 years ago. You're talking about the flesh and blood of the living vessel who God brings into the earth to bring us the truth. You're not talking about no damn grape juice and crackers and something. You're not talking about that. Every prophet came to our people in flesh and blood. Now somebody gonna come out the sky. Goddamn devils. Goddamn devils. So it say, and they overcame him by the blood of the Lamb and by the word of their testimonies. They didn't overcome by somebody else's testimonies, because right now we're reading Paul's testimony. We're reading Peter's testimony. What about your testimony? Because your testimony is how you overcome the devil. Not by Peter's testimony, not by the New Testament. You don't overcome the devil by the New Testament and by the blood of somebody 2,000 years ago. So it says, and they overcame him by the blood of the Lamb and by the word of their testimonies, and they loved not their lives unto death. Therefore rejoice ye heavens, and ye that dwell in them. Woe unto the inhabitants of earth and sea. So why does it go into rejoice ye heavens and ye that dwell in them? Why is telling these people to rejoice? Because they have accepted the heavenly bread. So now they dwell in the higher thinking. So they are rejoicing right now. But see, it say, woe to the inhabitants of the earth and sea. You still in that watered down information, huh? You still on the earthly plane, huh? We in high school. We in high school, you're on the earthly plane right now. So woe to you, because remember, the devil don't dwell in heaven no more. The devil been kicked down. You still believe that information? You still believe somebody came 2,000 years ago? You still believe that? Okay. You still believe God can use a book to talk to us? Stay on earth. You still drawing in scriptures? You still in the sea. You still caught up in information? We at rest. So woe to these people, because why? This is where the devil at. Deception is in information. The truth is the truth. It's going to help you grow if you accept it. The truth is just not information. You can get information forever. You can't get the truth forever. The truth is the truth. Once you get it, you got it. You better be growing. That's how you the truth is nutrients for you to grow into what you need to be. So when you accept the truth, you grow. Ain't no such thing as, oh, I accept the truth and you ain't grow. That's bull crap. That's bull. You ain't accepted it. You heard it, but you ain't accepting the truth is your growth. That's how you know when somebody truly have accepted the truth. You can hear the truth. You can say you agree with it, but have you accepted it? That's a whole different ball game. You see what I'm saying? Trust me. And don't accept it for the wrong reasons, because it won't work. It won't work. So, woe unto the inhabitants of the earth and of the sea, for the devil is come down unto you, having great wrath, because he knoweth that he had but a short time. So once deception, the teachers of deception realized the light was in the earth, they start going extra hard on trying to make you believe in the stuff that they giving you. They try extra hard. Whatever gonna attract the crowd, they willing to do. Whatever attracts the crowd, they are willing to do to pull you in. The truth have no friends. The lie got many friends. The truth have none. You got to be a brother or you got to be a sister. That means you got to be married to it. Blood in, blood out with the truth. The truth ain't finna. That's why I say the truth is no respecter of a person. The lie is respectable. Ain't nothing respectable about the truth. And that's why I say I always use workout for example. When you're working out, ain't no respect about pain. I don't want it to hurt. You'll probably never look good either. If you don't want it to hurt, you'll probably never look good. So let it hurt. So I can what? I can look good. Let it hurt. Bring the pain. But when it comes to the truth, I don't want no pain. I don't want no pain. I want it to be nice, smooth, and just roses and butterflies, huh? It ain't gonna work that way, y'all. It ain't. So right now, those who haven't accepted the calling, which is to come to high school, come to the higher way, based off what? By giving your trust in God, because God has anointed a vessel. That's why I say his Christ, not your Christ. You notice how I say the kingdom of our God and the power of his Christ. Because his Christ, God Christ, is not the Christ in your mind. I promise you, God Christ is not the Christ in your mind. I promise you. I put my bottom dollar on it. God Christ is not the Christ in your mind. I promise you. That's why I say, it clearly says God's thoughts are not your thoughts. God's thoughts are not your thoughts. So, the devil knows a short time, verse 13, Revelation 12. Revelation chapter 12, verse 13. And when the dragon saw that he was cast unto earth, he persecuted the woman which brought forth the man child, the wisdom. You know how people try to persecute the things we say? And it's crazy. People know, that's how you know it's the truth. The truth is like the truth is like, you know, it's like there's certain songs in the world you can never forget. Soon as it come on, you know what it is. I'm talking about, it could be just the one little sound. It ain't gotta be no one little sound, you know what it is. And my brother, man, had this experience the other day. He went to the Hebrew camps. He said a few things. He probably wasn't there. Well, he wasn't talking for longer than 5 minutes. Might have been 3 minutes. I can't remember. But soon as he said the tune of this new song, their ears bucked up. Shit, that sounds like something from Yaju. That's a Yaju question. So the truth is a tune you can't forget. You can't forget. It's just one of them songs. When it come on, you automatically know what it is. You might not even like it. But when it come on, you know what it is. You like, that's it. But I don't like that song though, man. I don't like that damn song. Everybody like it. I don't like that song. But you know what it is. So right now, people are persecuting the wisdom that's coming from those that's witnesses of it. Because now, since this wisdom have made their wisdom look foolish, they have to turn around and try to make this seem foolish. Ha 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 ha. They believe that Jesus didn't come 2,000 years ago. And then when they get off this camera and they get off this social media, they be in their couch rocking and be like, damn, did he really come 2,000 years ago? Nah. I gotta go fight that shit. I gotta go fight that because I believe he came 2,000 years ago. I'm not gonna let nobody change my mind. You don't even know if he came 2,000 years ago. You don't know that. It's not even in the book. He came 2,000 years ago. But since you want to hold on, you're going to persecute what? The wisdom of God. You're going to persecute the woman that's clothed with the sun, the moon under her feet, and 12 stars on her crown. You're going to persecute her. I don't think we know what that means. That's like you see a little girl and you go beat her up. That's what people are doing. You are beating up an innocent little girl when you persecute this wisdom. That's what that's the analogy that you're doing. So it says, I'm gonna read verse 11. No, I'm sorry, 13. Revelation 12 and 13. It says, and when the dragon saw that he was cast unto earth, he persecuted the woman which brought forth the man child. And to the woman were given 2 wings of a great eagle, that she might fly into the wilderness unto her place, where she is nourished for a time and times and half a time from the face of the serpent. They got a scripture like this in Daniel, where he say a time, half a time, and time. Daniel and Revelation talking about the same thing, same vision. Verse 15. The serpent cast out of his mouth water as a flood after the woman, flooding us with lies so we can't get the pureness. That he might carry her, that he might cause her to be carried away of the flood. Let me flood them with this so they won't hear this. If we giving them this, they ain't gonna hear this. And the earth helped the woman. And the earth opened her mouth and swallowed up the flood which the dragon cast out of his mouth. So who was the earth that opened up? People start talking. You know what, man? Yeah, tell the truth. I don't see nothing wrong. Show me what you're doing wrong. The earth opened its mouth. Those on earth, it's people that's not even dwelling in heaven that's opened up their mouth now. And what that's going to cause the water to do? Be swallowed up. And the dragon was wroth with the woman and went to make war with the remnant of her seed, which kept the commandments of God. You believe in Yah Judah? You know how many people say when they believe in Yah Judah, they get an inbox? You know how many people who say they believe in Yah Judah and you gonna get an inbox? This been happening my whole time, ever since I've been on social media, they get an inbox. You believe in him? Don't believe in him. You think I go around inboxing people telling them what not to believe in? But that's what people do. When I go talk to the Hebrew camps, don't talk to him. I encourage my people to talk to people. That's what the truth for, to have a conversation, communicate. So say, look, somebody inbox their mom. Trust me, I know. But this is the prophecy. That's why you always see me. I'm never tripping. I'm never tripping. That's why you always see me with Mary Jane, and the Mary Jane don't keep me from tripping, but that's just how cool, because these things have to happen. It has to happen. It's a part of what God has designed. It's a part of it. You see what I'm saying? And that's why I come on here to show these things, not to gaslight the situation, not to even talk down in a way of what people are doing, but I come on here to show the prophecy. It's prophecy over knowledge and wisdom. Everybody got knowledge and wisdom, but nobody understands the prophecy. So they blind, they deaf. Adam and Eve ate from the tree of knowledge of the good, of the knowledge of good and evil. That's good. That's good you got knowledge. But what about the prophecy that's going to bring in life? If knowledge brought in life, we'll have it by now. Because I know a lot of people with knowledge. Y'all see a lot of people with knowledge. Where's the life? Where's the benefits of the knowledge? You know Mansa Musa. You see what I'm saying? You know about the ancestors. You know about Jesus. Where's the benefit? That's why I say I tell my story. When I woke up, man, I knew I wasn't tripping, because I always lived in reality and common sense. That's why I was always been quiet, because I was always white people. And I was be like, why the hell they do that? Why do they do that? So when I seen all these brothers with knowledge, I know where I'm from. I'm like, how they get it? That's my first question. How did they get it? Because nowhere in my circle ever, nobody was given this kind of knowledge. So what are you a part of to have that kind of knowledge? Where you get it from? Who set you down? But I realized the knowledge was garbage. Now I thank God that nobody gave it to me. I thank God nobody gave me the garbage that a lot of my brothers and sisters have. Because when God came to me, I didn't have nothing. When God came to me, I didn't have nothing. I didn't know nothing. I'm talking about for us consciousness, and because when you come into the conscious community, man, it's so many doors, it's so many words, it's so many houses. You like, damn, which house I'm gonna pick, what name I'm gonna pick, what word I'm gonna start using. It's so much to choose from. And I'm feeling left out. I'm like, damn, I gotta fit in. So I'm gonna have to start saying these words, and trying to, shit, I'm conscious too. I know a little bit. That's how the conscious community is. But when I thank God now, man, I didn't have none of that. I didn't have none of that consciousness in me. I was conscious about my surroundings, living in, ignorance. But for us just knowing stuff, no, I didn't know that. No. I was truly a babe. So like I said, when it comes to a lot of this conscious, man, that a lot of people in, man, that's really what's stopping people from hearing. Because like I said, they think they know. And you have to be humble. Humbleness goes, man, and that's why I was humble. Because I didn't know nothing. So if you don't know nothing, you will have to be an ignorant fool to be running your mouth. If you don't know nothing, you just ignorant. Now I'm not talking to ignorant people, but any kind of intelligent person, any kind of person with morals, if they don't know, they're not gonna be running their mouth. That's like a code, Shit, even bosses and stuff, people on higher levels, if they don't know nothing, they gonna be quiet. They're not going to say nothing, And we have been taught And we have been programmed to believe we know. When you look at all the teachings, it programs you to believe you know. The truth gonna say you don't know. Let me show you. That's what the truth gonna do. But if you're not humble, you're not gonna let nobody show you. And we not humble because why? We think we know, so what you gonna show me if I know? You ever try to show somebody that knows something? A baby don't want you to do that. A baby gonna get frustrated with you. They gonna want to do it themselves. That's human nature. That's why you have to put off the natural man and come into the spiritual man. To the natural man, the spiritual things is foolishness. The spiritual things of God is foolishness to a natural man. Because in your natural state, you know. Yeah, you know, bro. Okay. You know. You know, sis. Yeah, you know. Okay. Hey, I damn sure ain't gonna force nothing on you. I ain't gonna never force nothing on you. Now, I tell you now. I tell you more than once. But I ain't gonna force it. I will not force it. But it's been quiet here today. I did have a guest, but I was reading Revelation, man. So I don't know who that was wanted to come up. I was reading Revelation. I didn't want to interrupt what I was bringing out. But if you are still in here, you wanted to come up, you're welcome. I was just in the midst of reading. And like I said, just explaining why the devil has been cast down to earth in the last days. And this stuff didn't happen, back then. The devil has been cast to earth in the last days. At the time we were receiving salvation. So yeah, y'all, that's what it is, man. We read these scriptures. A lot of us thought, it was a history book. A lot of us still think that, but this is a prophetic book. And you don't have the authority to say when things happen. That's another damn thing. Now, who the hell gave you authority to say when something happened and you wasn't even there? You don't know what happened in your own state 50 years ago. They got books on it. You see what I'm saying? You don't know. And when you read the books, you're still not going to know. But we don't want to talk about something that we say happened thousands of years ago, y'all. That's a sickness, man. That's a darkness. I just said that's a darkness. To want to be a holder of that. Thousands of years ago, you don't even know what went on in your own family 50, 60 years ago. Let alone 100. You don't know what went on in your own family. But you will talk about something 2,000 years old as if you was there. You know the people. You know who did this. You know who did that. You know who was here. All because of some spelling words. That's a spell. That's a spell. Y'all, you cannot be a witness of spelling words. You cannot be a witness of spelling words. You can't go to court and say, you seen a letter. Did you hear it? Did you see it? If you didn't hear it or see it, can't be a witness. You can't get up on a witness stand, y'all. You can't get up on a witness stand if you didn't see it or hear it. Nope, you go to jail for that. So now the truth is convicting a lot of people because they committed a crime. They stood on the witness stand and wasn't a witness. But now they convicted. Michelle Live, y'all, they know they took me out the For You page, so you want to come up and deal with the title, you're welcome. You want to come up and deal with the title, you're welcome. You know, when people, you know, really accept the truth, they're going to wish they would have accepted much earlier. But timing, I'll tell you, man, it's everything. Timing is really about growth. You know, the time this prophecy, the time this truth has been in the earth, it has been molding people. It has been shaping people into the, you know, when you're talking about building a kingdom, a lot of people don't build, so you don't really understand bricks, but you can understand the concept. If I got 1,000,000 bricks to put on the wall, right? Do I want my bricks to be different? Or do I want my bricks to be the same? Because when I go to laying bricks, and I say I'm moving. I got me set up. I got my template set up. I got my mortar made. When I go to grabbing bricks and I'm putting them to build my foundation, do I want my bricks the same? Do I want triangle, square, circle, cube, fit? You know, do I want that? Nah, it's gonna look uneven. It's gonna look ugly. I can't stack it right. I gotta chip this off. So the progression of the truth and what it's doing is squaring everything up. It's making everything straight. I know we always say don't be a square, you know, in a sense, you know, but when you know anything about building, you want everything square. Because when it's square, it's straight. So all these stones of the world, the truth is squaring it off. God truth is squaring it off. So we can build this kingdom. And without everybody being squared off, we can't build the kingdom of God. It's impossible. Ain't nobody gonna snap their fingers and do it. So, like I tell people, nobody in the Bible was able to talk to the world. Keep that in the back of your mind. Nobody in the Bible was able to talk to the world. Now look what's going on. And we can talk without a record deal. This thing to think about, y'all. This thing to think about. But any guess, y'all, you're welcome to come up, man. I read my chapter for the day. Now I hope we get a little conversation. If not, oh well. That won't matter. But be good for the viewers. This title put people in the loop. But y'all, well, they say they supposed to be getting rid of TikTok, man. So, and what the word is on the street, I kind of fell back anyway. Like I say, y'all, it's a lot of stuff on the back end, man. That's in play for us. It's gonna really, like I said, put energy into people, because I know there's only so much you can say. The gospel must be preached, because again, the gospel is gonna make you get up. You know, people are like, well, would you wouldn't even got up if it wasn't for this. So the gospel is very important. You know, but the manifestation is just important. You know, but the gospel has to be first preached. You know, and right now, you know, like I said, we have a strong voice. We have a strong, fearful people who are not ashamed of the gospel. Because what that scripture where it says is, don't be ashamed of the gospel. That's a lot of people are ashamed. Don't be ashamed of the gospel, Bible verse. Romans 1:16. So a lot of people are ashamed, you know, and that's what I used to always deal with. When people even accepted me as Christ, like Peter accepted Christ, but Peter was ashamed of the gospel. You was with him? Nah, I wasn't with him. But Peter knew he was Christ. So it's been a lot of that. A lot of people know I'm Christ, but they be like, I gotta speak that. I'm ashamed to speak that. So it says in Romans 1:16, for I am not ashamed of the gospel of Christ, for it is the power of God unto salvation to everyone that believeth, to the Jew first, and also the Greek. For therein is the righteousness of God revealed from faith to faith, as it is written, the just shall live by faith. So why is the gospel of Christ the power of God? Because God had the power to give it to him. Like, that's what God, the way God reveals its power is by giving it to a human to test humans. But people believing in God, but denying the power. That's why I put the video out. People don't trust God no more. If you trust God, you wouldn't lean to a book. You wouldn't lean to somebody 2,000 years ago, because this book is examples of what God gonna do. And what God gonna do? Send living vessels. We never heard it like that, but we read it like that. See, you read it like that, but you never heard it like that. But you read examples of God sending living vessels. You don't read no spirit just poof and talking to nobody. You don't read the prophets passing out books. So again, you read these things, but you haven't heard these things. So what is the power of God? Moses was the power of God. Noah was the power of God. That's why Moses and Noah ain't come back, because God's power is still here. God just needed a host. That's all God needed, was a host. So Paul say, for I am not ashamed of the gospel of Christ, for it is the power of God unto salvation to everyone that believeth. Now, a lot of people think the gospel is in the book. The gospel comes from a living mouth. The gospel comes from the mouth of God, which is a living vessel that God chooses. The gospel comes from God's mouth, which is a living vessel that God chooses. Living vessels that God chooses. This is how you get the gospel. You have the gospel from the living vessel. You have the testimony from the witnesses. who testify to the one God has chosen, who testify to the power of God. But what was another verse I wanted to get? Oh yeah, believing in God but denying his power. This might be in the same verse, huh? Believing in God but denying his power, Bible verse. Let's go to 2 Timothy 3. Second Timothy 3. Well, I'm going to start at verse 1. It says, this know also, in the last days, perilous times shall come. For men shall be lovers of their own selves, converters, boosters, proud, blasphemous, disobedient to parents, unthankful, unholy, without natural affection, truce breakers, false accusers, incompetent, fears, despisers of those that are good, traitors, heedy, high-minded. I'm a god. I'm a king. That's high-minded. Lovers of pleasure more than lovers of God. Verse 5, this is what I want you to pay attention to. Having a form of godliness, but having a form of godliness, but denying the power thereof. From such turn away. How you believing in God, but don't believe God can send somebody right now. Don't believe God ain't got the power to raise nobody up to bring you the truth. You believe you have to see it in a book. From such turn away. From such, if you don't believe, that's why I always say, well, look, if you don't, the counsel that I brung out, the counsel that God has blessed me to give to the world has revealed Christ on earth, whether you believe it's me or not. That's how powerful the truth is. I always say that. You don't have to believe in Christ. Just know Christ on earth. This is what this book is telling you. So just know Christ on earth. Now you go to God and ask God to reveal Christ on earth to you. Don't ask God to reveal Christ in the sky, because it'll never happen. The same way God spoke to our forefathers, God gonna speak to us. The same way. God is not gonna speak to us through a book, through spelling words, or none of that. God is gonna use living people. We need to scream that to the top of the mountains, because this is the example of the Bible. Didn't nobody come on no damn sky and start talking to us? Come on now, y'all. Like, come on, man. That's nonsense. So who are we dealing with? 2 Timothy 3 verse 5. Having a form of godliness. Having a form. But, a big but, denying the power thereof. Whoever don't believe God is using living vessels to bring forth the word, you are denying God's power. As simple as that. You are denying God's power if you do not believe God can send living vessels to bring you the word. If you believe in the Bible and you believe you go through the Bible to get to God, you denying God's power. God put his power in the book. Come on, man. Come on, man. Smoke It was the first one to say that. Come on, man. But, you know, y'all, we just here to tell the truth. Bless those with the ears to hear. Bless those with the ears to hear. Bless those with the ears to hear. We ain't doing nothing but telling the truth and carrying the cross. We ain't doing nothing but telling the truth and carrying the cross, y'all. That's all we doing, man. Just in case if anybody asks what they doing, we telling the truth and we carrying the cross, man. But y'all share live, y'all. I'm not on the For You page. They kick me off every time I go live, man. So I got some haters. I'm starting to think, damn, they got somebody who worked for TikTok ran across me or something. But I can't get a and this never happened to me on TikTok like this. Like I'm just banned from the For You page. Like, damn, what I'm doing. You know, but it's all good, y'all. That's, you know. But we gonna keep on rolling. How that song go? One monkey don't stop the show. So TikTok don't stop this show, man. It's just one of the tools we use, y'all. Just one of the tools we use. So if it ever break, we just get another wrench. You know, this is just a tool, man. So if it break, we just get another wrench, y'all. But like I say, y'all, everything is in place. Again, you have to endure. I've been enduring. If you don't think I've been enduring, I might make it look easy, but I've been enduring. Because this is not, you know, something that I just like enjoy. This is not my enjoyment. I don't, you know, come on here and speak this truth and, you know, made this sacrifice as something to enjoyment. You know, this has been done because this is something that has to been done. I accepted my calling. You know, so it's not really enjoyment. A lot of people, you know, it's not an enjoyment. That's all I'm saying. You know, this is something that's it's a joyful to know the truth. But even in the saying, a lot of wisdom is a lot of grief. So it's a lot of grief come with this. You know, so this just ain't peaches and cream. You know, but so this is about enduring. You know, that's why Paul also say our dear sufferings cannot compare to the glory that's going to be revealed in us. You know, so like I said, a lot of people don't even see that side of it. A lot of people just see a man on TikTok talking. You know, they don't see the side of the sacrifice. That's why I say eat from the sacrificial lamb. These things are said for a particular reason. And since we haven't been told a particular reason, those on the outside looking in don't even know what to really pay attention to. Because you got to understand, I wasn't in jail when God came to me. You know, I wasn't a bum. You see what I'm saying? I wasn't stranded. I wasn't on drugs. I wasn't hurting. You see what I'm saying? I was at the peak of my life to really ride the American way. That's where I was. I was at the peak of life where, you know, I had just had my little girl. She was 4, 2009. So yeah, she was 4. See what I'm saying? So I was more in the, okay, I got this little girl now. Let me get everything straight. You see what I'm saying? I did my little running around in the street. So let me get stuff straight for my little girl. That's where I was. So I opened up a business. You see what I'm saying? I started saving money. I was looking into buying a house. I had never looked into buying no damn house. For what? See what I'm saying? So I started looking into buying the houses and stuff like that. That's where I was when God came to me. People don't look at that. I had just finished welding school. I was a certified pipe fitter. Well, I went to school. I was damn near certified a pipe fitter. See what I'm saying? So I wasn't, so ain't no fun in me coming up here every day telling you this. You see what I'm saying? Like this ain't just fun. I don't, this is a real sacrifice. It's a real sacrifice. Now, the Bible says eat from the sacrificial lamb. So when people, on the outside looking in, don't know that side of it, again, all you see is a twin. You see somebody up here just talking, running their mouth as if they think they know what they're talking about. But bless those who have the eyes to see. So the Bible does say eat from the sacrificial lamb for a whole different standpoint. You see what I'm saying? So, because when it comes to, how would I say it? Getting God money. When it comes to getting God money, it's just like your job. Are you going to wake up and work for God? Now, again, this is not for everybody, but this is for what? The sacrificial lamb. To be the sacrificial lamb, you was going to have to wake up and work for God. My life, so happily, I walked into my calling. A lot of people think I might have got on my knees and say, I want to be Christ. I just want to be Christ, God. Make me Christ. Come on, y'all. It don't even happen like that. That's why it says you have to be called by God. No matter how much you want to be Christ, no matter how much you want to be the sacrificial lamb, it's something it's almost like a destiny. You have to, this is a destiny. So I walked into my destiny. I just had to what? Make the sacrifice and be obedient. That was I had to be obedient and I had to make the sacrifice. Because there's many other things I could have did when God called me. Trust me, man. There's many other things I could have did. You see what I'm saying? But when I got called by God, I immediately stripped myself of everything. My money became everybody else's money. I got rid of my jewelry, got rid of my clothes. I got rid of anything that I thought distracted me. Because it's like the calling made me understand I knew I was going to make a sacrifice. It was, like I said, it was just something that, when I look back on it, it was like, well, damn, I guess I had, but that's what I did. I got rid of all my good shoes, anything that would have made me not focus, anything that would have made me not key in. That's what I did. That's my journey. You see what I'm saying? That's what I did. So, again, a lot of people, when they hear me proclaiming Christ and they hear a lot of things, they might, on the outside looking in be like, this brother really trying to be Christ. And again, if you know me, most people don't, because I'm on social media. You don't know me from a can of paint. You just see me talking. But those who know me, especially in my hometown, they know this is a sacrifice. They know I'm not a pastor collecting tithes, riding a Mercedes in a big house. I'm staying with people. So, like, when people step back and be like, well, hold up, damn, what this, this is a real sacrifice. This is a real sacrifice. This is real life. This is not to be entertainment. This is not entertainment to detain you with scriptures and make you believe in something that you can't see. If it's not God. So that side of it, people on the outside looking in, they don't really get that side. And I'm not a storyteller, so I don't like to talk, you need this truth. My story is my story. My story will be told to the world soon, but this truth is much important because of what it's gonna make us grab off the table. It's so much on the table for us, man. We don't understand what's on the table. We don't understand. And that's why, I was saying a few days ago, if you ain't read Deuteronomy 28, slap yourself. Because once we obey the voice of God, the blessings overtake us. I know that might sound so simple, but so hard at the same time, because the first thing, where's the mouth of God? Now we got to sit here and bring out 100 scriptures to show you what's the mouth of God. Because you have little faith. Because you have little faith, we got to spend so much time trying to show you what the mouth of God is. That's all we really dealing with. But if we follow the mouth of God, if we obey, hearken to the voice of God, blessings overtake us. I don't think y'all really get that. Blessings will overtake us. Nobody talks about that. Not if you read scriptures all day. Not if I go to a building and sing songs. Not if I get on my knees and pray. Blessings is not going to overtake us if I get on my knees and pray. If I give it to God in the way they teach it, it's not going to happen. If I obey the voice of God, blessings will overtake us. If we reject the voice of God, curses will overtake us. Look around. What has overtaken us? Blessings or curses? If you had to look at the world right now, have we been overtaken with curses or have we been overtaken with blessings? What do you see? Because I know what I see. But what do you see? Do you see blessings or do you see curses? Even the royal family looking bad right now. The Pope been looking bad. We know church is bad. All these people are what? Are supposed to be the Godheads of the world. The royal family, the Pope, and the churches, religion, all looking like what? They blessed or they looking like they curse? So what do that mean? Like I say, take me being not Christ. So for the blessings, what do we got to do? Because we listening to somebody's voice already. That's the cold thing about it. You already listening to somebody's voice. You just listening to the wrong voice. You just listening to the wrong voice. So now let's find the voice of God so we can get the many blessings to overtake us and remove the curse. It's just that simple. But a lot of people have little faith. Their faith don't come by hearing. Their faith come by reading. That's another title. Do faith come by hearing or do faith come by reading? People don't try to dodge that question so much. They say when you're reading, you're listening. Who you listening to? Some people say you can play the Bible on the internet, listen to it. I say, boy, that's when you man, that's when you man, you. So AI gonna teach you the Bible, huh? The Bible not gonna talk. The Bible itself. But you gotta cut on technology for the Bible to talk. I guess so. Shit, I guess that's the only way it's gonna talk. Really, I guess that's the only way it's gonna talk. So No guests today, y'all. No guests. I did have one come up, but no guests, man. Nobody want to talk about spelling words or the spoken word. Spelling words or the spoken word. And the cool thing about it, I debunked the saying, you want to hide something from a black man? Put it in the book. We the lost sayings. We not the lost readers. A lot of these books made us believe in this system when we were supposed to control the system. None of these books taught us how to control the system. None of these books taught us how to create a system. Or none of these books inspired us to create a system. So most of the books made us believe in a system, not make a new one. That's why the carpenter here. The new heaven and new earth. So we are the lost sayings. We are not the lost readers. So for all my Dragon Ball Z people, Goku was a lost saying. And out of all the warriors, Goku the only one that had the spiritual bomb. I mean the spirit bomb. Goku powerfulest move was the spirit bomb. And that goes back to what I read earlier, how the earth helped. The earth opened up its mouth. Because the spirit began to touch so many people. Y'all read the story where it say the fame began to go out. Because when Jesus showed up, he wasn't famous. It had to spread. But they told you he came already, so he gonna come back as Superman and he gonna be famous because he flying from the sky, he riding on the cloud. You know Goku rode on the cloud, you know that, huh? I know a lot of y'all ain't watch Dragon Ball Z, y'all. That was a hell of a cartoon, man. Their last fighter was Cell. Cell can eat anybody and become like them. It's almost like cell phones, television. You know, television can mimic anything right now. You know, television will swallow you up and your whole image is coming from television. Now, television is giving you life. This kind of what, if you really understand the spiritual sense, this is what the character Cell was. He was the last one that had to fight. And he was very, very powerful. And he got more power by eating people. You know. But like I say, Dragon Ball Z was a hell of a cartoon, man. That's I still, like a little child, I still watch it. They got so many episodes now to where I just watch it. You know, but that's the only cartoon that I can say I still watch. I ain't gonna even lie to you. I think I'll be forever be a Dragon Ball Z. You know, and like I say, just what it stands for is men. It's men and women trying to save the world from evil people. You know, so you know it's something that can, you know, give people courage to stand up against unrighteousness. It's not something to believe people gonna fly, but it's just mighty funny. Goku rode on the cloud. You know, it's mighty funny. His powerful move was the spiritual bomb when he gathered power from everybody. Everybody gave Goku their energy when he called for the spirit bomb. The trees, the animals, the plants, the people, every living organism that wasn't fighting against Goku gave their energy to Goku. And it became a spiritual bomb. And it defeated any creature on the earth. Any creature. You know. So it's a cold cartoon, man. It's a cold cartoon, man. And every time they fought, they always went in the sky. You know. They went to a higher place to fight. You know. It was just a cold cartoon, y'all. I ain't lying. Cold cartoon, man. And you know they had all of them really had afros. You know, I know, you know, they that's another thing. You know, then they had tails. You know, but there was the lost sayings, y'all. And we are the lost sayings. We're not the lost readers. We are not the lost readers. We are the lost sayings. Got him in the drawing. Oh yeah, Dragon Ball Z. Yeah, a lot. I had some partners to draw that too. That was pretty cold too, man. That was to draw that shit. No guess, y'all. Y'all welcome to come up now. You know, with no guess, huh? Nobody want to talk about that spoken spelling words, huh? Everybody want to believe the spell, but don't nobody want to talk about it. Don't nobody want to talk about it. Everybody want to believe in the spell, but don't nobody want to talk about it. Why don't nobody want to talk about it? Nobody want to talk about the spell, huh, y'all? I wonder why. It must be the witch or warlock. See, the thing about the truth, I speak a sword. You see what I'm saying? Because a lot of words I can't pronounce. I'm way better at speaking now, man, because I've been speaking for 10 years. So my ability to speak and pronounce words and read shit, it really got a whole lot better. And because like I said, I never read. You see what I'm saying? I might have read a few stuff in school, but the teacher didn't call on me. I think she must have knew. You know, I'm like, nah, I'm calling. You know, so. The truth is a sword. Some people, the lie is words. You take the S and put it in front of W. Take that S off words, all the many words, and put that S in front of that W. What you get? Sword. That's what the truth is. So I brought a sword. I didn't bring a lot of words. I'm still saying the same thing I said when I first started. Again, it got a little clearer. You know what I'm saying? Tell you Christ gonna increase in wisdom. So what I understood is the same thing I understand when I was first anointed. Now, again, when I first started out cooking, it needed this, it needed to cook a little longer. Now, it's well done. It's well done. I'm not in the manger no more. You know, and that's the realness of the prophecy of God. A lot of people want to say Christ is God, but why did Christ have to grow in wisdom? If Christ had to grow in wisdom, when did God have to? God won't be God if God had to grow in wisdom. If the unseen had to grow in wisdom, it wouldn't be God. It'll be one of us. Christ is one of us. God is God. You see how that works? Christ is one of us, but God is God. So the scripture tell you Christ grew in wisdom and favor of God. You know, but like I say, we want to make it so hocus pocus. We won't, and then the hocus pocus part is sizzled on our minds. It's a mark that very few people can remove right now because the second resurrection ain't really happened yet. You know, and see, a lot of people get caught up with all eyes will see him. When will all eyes see Christ? The Bible tells us when all eyes see Christ. When he's lifted up. Just as Moses lifted the serpent on the pole, the Son of Man must be lifted up, and all men will come. Let's read it. Let's go to this book of John. So when we read Revelation, he's coming in clouds. All eyes will see him. That's based off him being lifted up. But we think Revelation, we've been lied to that Christ came already. So again, we can't hear the truth right now. But that's John 3:14, 3:16. Yeah, 3. What is that? Hold on. But it's not the one that let me see. Let me get the first one. This is the one where it says, you know, he must lift him up. But this one says, the Son of Man is lifted up, then all men will come. Bible verse. That's John. Yeah, that's John 12 and 32. John 12 and 32. I'm gonna start at verse 30. It says, John 12, verse 30, it says, and Jesus answered and said, the voice came not because of me, but for your sakes. Now is the judgment of the world. Now shall the prince of the world be cast out. And I, if I be lifted up from the earth, will draw all men unto me. So Christ has to be lifted up to even draw all men. I'm going to say that again. Christ had to be lifted up to draw all men. So when did Christ be lifted up to draw all men? When did it happen? You know, all this stuff happened at the same time. So when you go back to what I was reading in John 3 and 14, I'm going to start at verse 11. It says, verily, verily, I say unto you, we speak that we do know, and we testify that we have seen, and ye receive not our witnesses. If I have told you earthly things, ye believe not. How should ye believe if I tell you heavenly things? And no man had ascended up to heaven, but he that came down from heaven, even the Son of Man, which is in heaven. And as Moses lifted up the serpent in the wilderness, even so must the Son of Man be lifted up. Why must the Son of Man be lifted up? This verse in John 12 and 32 tell you. And I, if I be lifted up from the earth, will draw all men unto me. This he says signify what death he should die. So again, like this is the crucifixion. Christ is crucified. Christ is rejected. Then Christ is lifted up. The crucifixion is what? The unaliving. Him being lifted up is the resurrection. It's the rise of Christ. It's not nobody coming down from the sky. It tell you the Son of Man is in heaven. You know, that's a higher thinking. So when you go to Revelation 1, because this is what everybody do. Everybody should see you. Let's go to Revelation 1, y'all. Let's go to Revelation 1. Let's start at 5. Revelation 1 and 5. Let's just start at 5 to get a foundation. And from Jesus Christ, who is the faithful witness. What is Jesus Christ? A faithful witness. Not a lying witness. Because everybody else that's talking about God, they lying. But now you got a faithful and true witness in the earth for God. It says, and the first begotten of the dead, and the prince of the kings of the earth. The kings of the earth. So what is Christ? A man of the earth. People out here, Christ won't be worried about that. Christ don't be. So many imaginations, man. It says, unto him that loved us and washed us from our sins in his own blood, and had made us kings and priests unto God and his Father. To him be glory and dominion forever and ever. So this, the one that does this is going to have glory and dominion. Verse 7. Behold, he cometh with clouds. Every eye will see him. They also which pierced him. So this is after the crucifixion. This is after the unaliving. Now Christ is being raised up. That's why those who pierced him are now seeing him, because now what? He's lifted up. But they seeing him on another level, because when they pierced him, he was just a regular man on the cross. He ain't been raised up yet. He ain't been lifted up yet to his glory. But now they are seeing the one they pierced on the cross. Now they see him in glory form. So it say, behold, he cometh with clouds, the witnesses. Every eye shall see him, and they also which pierced him. And all the kindreds of the earth shall wail because of him. Now, oh man, he really Christ? Yeah. Yeah. That's why they gonna wail. All kindreds of the earth shall wail. What does wail mean? What is a wailing? Some versions say mourn. It is a good morning now. It's a good morning for some, and it's a grand rising for a few. So I'm getting in closing, y'all. Like I said, I ain't really got no guests, so I'm trying to keep conversation going. But I want to read the same thing in the book of Enoch. Because remember, Christ signifies his unaliving tied to him being lifted up. So if you go to Enoch 62, I'm going to start at verse 4 to keep it short. It says, then shall pain come upon them as a woman in travail, who find it grievous to bring forth her son, enters the mouth of the womb, and she has pain in bringing him forth. So they're going to be wailing in pain because of what? The Son of God being revealed to the world as the Son of God. Because first the Son of God was revealed to the world as a Son of Man, who most of the time didn't know what the hell he was talking about, didn't know what the hell he was doing, didn't know what the hell he was saying to the world. But now they're going to actually say, damn, that's the Son of God. They're going to cause a lot of pain. They're going to cause a lot of wailing. It says, and one portion of them will look on the other, and they will be terrified, and their countenance will fall, and pain will seize them when they see that Son of Man sitting on the throne of glory. So this is Christ in this glorious form. After he was pierced, after he was backstabbed, after he was lied upon. Now he's in his glorious form, and what? Pain will seize them when they see that Son of Man sitting on the throne of his glory. So the book of Enoch is telling you the same thing in Revelation, but like I say, we don't know the prophecy. We think this is a story. It's a story. He's coming on the clouds. That's why the Bible is dark sayings, y'all. And you can cast spells. You know. You can cast spells. Oh, got it. Somebody want to come up, y'all. Facts for God. I think I know this dude. I remember him when I first came on Facebook.
Hey, what's going on?
What's up? What's up? Peace, peace.
We had a talk a long time ago.
Yeah, you know. I remember when I first came on TikTok.
Huh?
I remember when I first came on TikTok. I remember the name. You know, cause I really remember the name because you know, yeah, it would be a false name, but you know, that's neither here or there.
Dang, like that?
I gotta tell the truth, man. You know, it's just, you know, I say that out of love. A lot of people don't know what real love is, but somebody that's gonna speak the truth to you, that's the one that truly love you. So take it in love. It's not really nothing to poke at you or start.
Okay.
What the business is.
So Paul, man, like, what do you think about Paul? You believe he's like preaching the truth?
Well, Paul is more of a character than a person, but yeah, Paul's words are true. It's just people. It says people who lack learning, they twist his words.
Because he says something like, "For by grace are you saved through faith, not of works." And then James said, "Faith without works is dead." I was like, it sounded like you're going against James. I know he had like a heated dispute with some of the disciples and went a separate way.
Well, no, it was it's like faith come by hearing, but if you hear and don't do, that's dead. So it's not contradicting. It's the same thing. You know, Paul is saying you are going to be saved by faith and not works. But the work is what you do after you hear. The work is not what you do before you hear. So the work that you're doing that's why the Bible say working in vain. See, so a lot of people are working in vain because they haven't heard the word that give them faith to go out and do the work, which is the correct work of God, not the one that you're doing in vain.
What work do people like me need to be doing? Because I know you say who you are. What work do we need to be doing?
You must eat the flesh of the Son of Man, or you have no life in you.
Eat the flesh of the, and how we do that?
By accepting the words that come out my mouth.
Do you preach the word, like the Bible, or what do you preach?
No, I preach the word that God gave to me. Again, you see, I want to ask you about this title. What it says, is God word spelling words or spoken word?
Is God word
spelling or spoken?
Both.
So if you had to have a master, because the Bible says you can't have two masters, because you're gonna love one and hate the other. So which one is the master, the spoken or the spelling?
Didn't he write? Didn't he spell with his finger?
That's the question is, which one is the spoken? I mean, which one is the master?
Both.
Is it the spoken or is it the spelling?
Both. Did he use his finger?
You can't have both. You can't have two masters, bro.
Then why do you use his finger?
Because the finger of God is the hand of God that's upon you. God's finger is the vessel that God uses to write it in the atmosphere. When God write, God speak. God don't pick up a pen. God pick up people. And when God pick up the person, that person goes speak for God. Our forefathers, the prophets didn't have them books. The prophet spoke to them words. And the words that the prophet spoke was from God.
Okay. So let me ask you this. With this finger, wasn't that, when he wrote with his finger, was that spoken or was that spelling?
That was a parable. Because The Bible tell you don't follow the things on stone. Don't follow the things on paper. The Bible tell you that.
Then why did he write with his finger?
That's a parable.
So
Because
that tablet,
the finger of God is the hand of God. That's not, like when God write it in stone, that's God putting it on an individual. Christ is the stone. So God gonna put it on Christ's heart, put it on Christ's mind, and Christ gonna go out and do it. And he gonna write it in the atmosphere. Like they got a verse in that's in Ezekiel where it talk about the ink horn, not the ink pen.
okay. So
The ink horn is the spoken word. That means you're gonna hear it.
my confusion is this: why do people put so much emphasis on Christ when he was just a man like us?
Well, no, it's not about putting the lie created idol, but the emphasis of Christ is the power of God. That's why the Bible talks about Christ so much. It's the power of God. It's the
Now, he was just
the
when I
life.
read his word, he was just another prophet, but he wasn't anything else. He was a prophet. He pointed people to the Most High. Away from him, he says, "Why do you call me good?" He refused being good.
Again, people put emphasis on it because it's the light that everyone needs to come out of darkness. It's not now the way people perceive it is because they was lied to about it. They believe he's living in the sky for 2,000 years. And they say he walked on water and all that. So it's the lie that make people, bring a lot of hocus pocus in it. But you is right. Christ is another living man. He's a son of man, like any other man. But he's set apart because God has chosen him. That's the only difference.
Where did it say God chose him? Chose him for what?
To be the light.
Okay. And what about him? You believe that he passed away for sins, or what do you think?
No, Christ, that's a prophecy story. Christ never came. That's why out of all the prophets, Christ was going to be the one to speak to the world. And that's another thing that separates Christ from all the rest of the prophets. They didn't get a chance to speak to the world. That's why you read it says the prophets would love to be in your days. So the days of Christ is what every prophet dreamed about, but they wasn't at this time. So Christ's story is a little more magnified because he's able to speak to the world.
Okay.
They wasn't.
So you believe that when he does come, he's going to pass away for sins and all that?
You already know Christ here.
Is he going to pass away for sins?
That's because, like I say, your name makes you a sinner. Because you don't have the facts. Christ got the facts. So you causing Christ not to be heard. Because you say you have the facts. That's the sin. That's the sin that keep Christ underground. That's the sin that keep Christ buried.
How's it a sin? Like sin is going against his commandments.
Yeah, you commanded. The commandments is not to offer God bread. You can't offer God bread. You must worship the God that brought you out of Egypt. That's the first commandment. You're not doing that. You're not worshiping the spirit and truth.
Is that you?
Yeah.
Okay. Do you believe that are you going to pass away for sins or not?
That's why I wear the crown of thorns. My passing away is my crucifixion. My rise is me coming out of that.
Okay. All right. Last question. And there was a group of people called the Ebionites. You know about them, right?
And what?
The first century sect of Christians. They're individuals that followed Christ when he passed away. They followed his brother James. You heard about Ebionites, right?
Nah, I ain't never heard of them.
Okay. And the original view of Satan, they believed that he was on God's side, not against God. What do you believe about that?
Well, no, Satan is against God. So I don't know if you want to say like God had Satan doing the things he was doing.
Yeah.
Doing it for God. You can say that, but
Yeah. He was on God's side, right?
I wouldn't say it's on God's side. That's like God hardened Pharaoh's heart. Pharaoh wasn't on God's side.
Why isn't Satan on God's side?
What?
Why isn't Satan on God's side if he accuses people of sin?
Satan is opposite of truth, bro.
But how is he, if he's accusing people of sin, how is that? That's what he wants. That's what God wants. God is the judge. He's the one that accuses. God condemns or forgives. How is he going against the Most High? That's how the Jews believe him.
That's what you want to believe. I'm here to tell you Satan is against God.
How?
Because he is opposer of the light.
Where did he oppose? Where? Like, give me one proof that he opposed.
It's happening right now. The devil is deception. Deception is rejecting light.
Okay, where? Like, what did he do? Like, is something written down
Is it written down?
that he opposed the Most High?
Yeah, Satan made war with Michael, right?
Oh, Revelation?
Yeah, Satan made war with Michael. And he
That's
was cast out by Michael because they wasn't the same.
That's a part of the Johannine community. I don't believe in those books.
Well, like I say, I'm not. If you want to believe that, that's why I say come to God as a child.
I got you.
You know, so I can't force you to make. But I'm just letting you hear. I'm here to tell you, Satan is against God.
I see. All right, man. Well, you do your thing, man.
All right, man. Peace.
Peace.
I ain't never heard that one before. Satan is against God. Shit. That's why, man. So much knowledge. Everybody feel they know something. They know this. They know that. Knowledge is knowing. Knowledge don't mean you apply. They're like commentators who commentate the game. They know football. A lot of them can't get on the field. They can't get on the field. They can commentate it all day. They can't apply it on the field. He should have passed that ball to the left. Okay, commentator, put that commentating shit down and get out there on the field and you start throwing the ball. Can't do it. So when it comes to God and the conscious community, it's commentators. Apply then. Apply what you're saying. Because I'm applying what I'm saying. You see what I'm saying? I'm applying. You see what I'm saying? Because again, I don't come in my own name. I don't come in my own studies. I come in the anointment of God. I come in the Father's name to fulfill the Father's will. That's why I'm applying what has been given to me. I'm not applying what I just found. Because you can't apply what you found. Because ain't nobody found nothing. Because if they did, they'll be applying it. Trust me. Trust me. Trust me. So, but I really ain't had no guests today, y'all. So I think I done talked enough. Man. But you know, the devil knows his time is up. You know, he come with a lot of wrath. It's a lot of flooded information. There's a lot of people flood you with information. If this is the simple truth, that's gonna give you rest. So as always, I hope the Father has circumcised your hearts and ears for the message. Peace and blessings. I'm out.